Hello, welcome to Cooking with Cornbread. Football season. Go Colts. I ain't watched the game yet because I wanted to get this chili done. That's what I'm going to do is white chicken chili today. And I wanted to get it done early because the longer chili lasts, like it's always better the next day, right? So here's the recipe that I got. There's Madeline. 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 onions chopped, 4 cloves of garlic, 4 cooked chicken breasts, 3 14.5 ounce cans of chicken broth, low sodium, 2 4-ounce cans of green chili, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of oregano dried, 1.5 teaspoons cayenne, 5 14.5 ounce cans of Great Northern beans and cheese and crackers to garnish with. That's the recipe original. Now I'll show you. So you could cut all that up, sweat your onions down, throw your chicken broth in, throw your chicken in with it, and this is how I make mine. Because it's a one-pot dish. I love making this chili, and my family likes it, except Madeline doesn't like it.
I don't like it.
I'll bring you down here and bring you out just a little. Ooh, so. I already had some chicken cut up, some cheating just a little bit, and I've got my garlic and onions in here, and that's a whole lot more than 4 cloves. It's probably 8 cloves of garlic because I like garlic. All right, so this is where I differ. Is like I said, I put more garlic in there. I've got my chicken cooking. You could do this with a rotisserie chicken, but I've got my chicken breast cooking in the same pot that I'm doing my chili in. So it's, you'll see. Called for 2 4-ounce cans. I got a 7-ounce can. This is where you could add heat or take it away naturally without using spices. My family doesn't like hot stuff, so I opted for medium. Also, it said a tablespoon or 1.5 teaspoons of cayenne. That's bay leaf. Where am I at? So I'm going to use, I'm about out of it, some crushed red pepper flakes. Just like, I don't know, a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm telling you right now, if you use a teaspoon and a half cayenne, it's going to be hot. It'll blast. It also said 2 teaspoons of cumin. I'm going to go probably 2.5 tablespoons of cumin, and maybe a tablespoon, which would be 3 teaspoons of oregano.
Do not smell that.
I also add bay leaf to mine. I'm going to walk you through this. I've got the chicken cooking right now. I already got my onion chopped up, like I said. Very important, reduced sodium chicken broth. Okay, I seasoned my chicken with salt and pepper, and that's it. Season every step. Now you won't want to season your onions because that'll draw all the moisture out, and you want some of that. I did a medium chop on my onions, not fine, because it's going to cook down twice. I'm going to soften them in the pot, and then I'm going to also boil them with the soup later so everything comes together. I add, like I said, I add 2 bay leaves to it as well. And she wanted to put the Great Northern beans. Only advice I can give you on that is if you can find one with the pull tab where you don't have to use a can opener, life will be grand. Another tip is to cut your chicken spoon size. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so another tip is this is a very, very, very loose chili, meaning it's not thick. If you wanted to thicken it a little bit, you could blend a cup or 2 of these, and it'll thicken it. But I'm here to tell you that it'll make your chili taste like beans. All right, so I'm gonna pan you over to my workstation. That's my pot. Can you move the? Yeah.
I know how to straighten hair, so I'm gonna have to put your hair inside. So I don't have to go to the
So I did not cut my chicken breast down. You could. I never do, because it would make it, I don't know, having all that is what I'm looking for, right? And that's I'm not left-handed. Let's see. Let's get next to my mic so you can hear. That's flavor. That's why I do this in the pan that I'm going to cook the chili in, the pot that I'm going to cook chili in. So I use the 2 tablespoons of olive oil for my chicken, and some of it gets left on the chicken. So what I'm going to do, put a tablespoon of butter in there, because butter equals flavor. And actually, it can be, not that I'm saying butter's healthy, but it can be healthier for you than friggin' vegetable oil. And also, I learned the other day that pig lard could be better for you than vegetable oil. So we're going to let that butter melt. And this is, I used to do my chicken in a separate pot and use some of the chicken broth to deglaze the pan. And I got in a hurry one day and just not like okay, I'm just going to do it all in the same pot, man. And thought that I was messing up. And lo and behold, sauteing these onions, I just grabbed the wrong thing. Softening these onions with all the brown bits. I'm going to scrape this aside. And if you've cooked anything in a skillet before, and this is stainless steel, the brown bits there, bring you back over here. My wife's going to be like, oh, I can't believe you showed them our messy kitchen. Well, I've got 3 kids, and we both work. We both go to church. I work out, so. Anyways, so you get you something. I got this at a spice store to go along with. My daughter picked that, there's a tablespoon. Let's leave that out. We'll use that. But kind of got to do a little work. But your liquids in the onions will do that for you. Okay. So I got my onions and garlic in here at the same time. Some people don't do that. They'll say the garlic will burn, but if you watch it, it won't. So we'll come back to that. What I wanted to talk about, I'm letting the chicken breast rest. But that being said, I know that the likelihood of that chicken being done, I told you I don't cut mine in 2 because I don't want all that hard surfaces. That's flavor and that's good, but you don't want all that crunch in a freaking soup. I'm going to let it rest because it's going to be hot. But we're going to boil it in there. I'm going to boil that for an hour when I put the chicken and chicken broth in there. What I'm going to do right now, so that'll cook it. It's going to cook them onions like I was talking about too. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and open my chilies. And it says medium, but this has like 0 heat in it. Now if you want different peppers in there, actually, I wanted to play around with that, but like I said, my family does not like spices, or spicy, and I do, so I just add stuff later. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this is all going to go quick. It takes about 10 minutes to do the onions, and you just dump everything in it, bring it to a boil, put your chicken in it, and you're good. But I wanted to talk about how the recipe doesn't call for salt and pepper, so salt and pepper to taste. Use reduced sodium chicken broth. And when it's done, after you add the beans, let it heat up, let everything get combined, and taste it. I won't taste mine until we're ready to eat because I like everything to come together. Add a little salt to it, a little pepper. You have to go easy on the pepper because we're using some hot spices. So while that's sauteing, I'll tell you what I do is once those get close to being done, I'll add my spices. And what that's going to do is that's going to open the flavor up, so to speak. The heat will let them blossom. I had to get some more cumin because we use a lot of cumin here. I love cumin. Cumin's a warm spice. It's not hot, it's just good. So I'll tell you the process. We'll put the spices in once the onions. All you got to do is just keep on kind of every once in a while spinning these around so it's not everything's getting the love from the heat, and you won't have to worry about your garlic burning. Now if you wanted to, you could put your garlic in later and I'll still do the same thing, but I always put mine in together. Go Colts. Hope they're doing good. The game's probably almost over with. I'm going to sit down and watch it here in a little bit. So, those get close to done. I put my spice in. Then I put the green chilies in. And then I add my chicken broth. And when it comes up to a boil, I add my chicken. You leave your chicken in there, you let it go for about an hour to let everything combine. And that's at a simmer, not a boil. And then 5 cans undrained Great Northern beans goes in there. Like I said, if you wanted to thicken it up, you could grind those beans, blend them, then put it in there, but it's going to make your chili taste just like beans. I don't recommend that. I tried it once and it sucked. But the beans go in there for about 20 minutes till they're heated through, and you can serve it then. What I'm going to do is get the beans done and put a lid on it, turn the heat off, and let it sit there and melt, and then watch the Colts football. So if any of my church friends are watching, I intend on making this and our red chili for Fall Festival. If that's what we do. I don't know. I'm new to the church, so pretty sure I've been to there and they do chili. But I intend on bringing both of these to it, and maybe some sugar cookies, which I've already had. So hopefully some of my church friends are going to watch this. Okay, so let's get this junk out of the way because I got to go work. Everybody asks me how I make it taste so good because I give everybody the recipe and they say it don't taste the same. So I just went exactly what I do. Actually, these chicken breasts are done. that one was anyways, all the way through. That's about as perfect of a boneless, skinless chicken breast as you could have. So I split them down the middle. You could do that beforehand and cook it or pound it out. I don't really do that. It's soup, so you want some texture in a soup, but not a lot. If you don't like that much garlic, don't worry about it. Don't put that much garlic in there. If you don't like heat, you like more heat. See, that one's close. It's probably safe to eat, but if it comes out pink, don't worry about it. All you're doing is browning the two sides because it's going to boil. In chicken broth for an hour. Like I said, if you wanted to, you can go get a $5 rotisserie chicken. Trim that bad boy up. Don't put the skin in there. I guess you could if you wanted to, and then remove the skin later. All three chicken breasts turned out freaking just perfect, juicy. So if I wanted chicken breast, I would have been in good shape. Everybody says chicken breast is going to be dry, not if you cook it right. And these were cooked right, apparently. Most of the time I do undercook them. Alright, these are ready. Let's get the spice in there, and it don't take that spice long. Like I said, I'm going to probably go 2.5 tablespoons of cumin, which is honestly what's going to be what was left in that bottle. And I go with a tablespoon of oregano. Oops. Now, if you wanted, you could have went. I could have got a little ramekin, little bowl, and put my spices in it. And it's going to thicken up on you. This is where you don't want to dilly-dally around, because those spices will burn. But we're going to bring that heat down here just a second. I want to put, when I said a 1/4 teaspoon or so, about that, a little bit more. That's just going to wake the spices up. We got to get going. And that, like I said, that thickens everything up. It ain't no problem. Those spices are soaking up that oil and what liquid is in there. Then you go with your can of chilies, and that's going to help you cool the pan down slightly. And what I like to do, get an old school can or bottle opener, give that chicken broth a shake because there will be some fat on top. Again, reduce sodium. And normally I do 2 cans at one time at this point, but I wanted to cool my pot down. And it is cool. Now, I won't use a spoon or anything to stir it with. Just keep on using that scraper tool. I love that thing, man. Got that at a spice store. I'm not a big enough channel that I get sponsored by anybody by no means, but if I find something that I like, I will spread the love. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give this a stir and show you something. I think it's called Spice World. I found one there's one in Gatlinburg at that little cove where there's 13 stores or whatever. Very, very, very nice people. Oh yeah. See, that's some of that stuff that got stuck to the bottom. And once this heats up, it'll release. That's why I keep on using the scraper. I guess that's what you call it. I don't know. That's what I call it. A little scraper. Alright. Got time now. That's going to heat up. I've already cut up my... Let's see. The Spice and Tea Exchange. They got all kinds of stuff in there, and you can go in there. Every time I've been in one, both Panama and Gatlinburg, they've been making a spice blend, and they're very nice. Actually, the one in Panama, me and that gentleman, he handed me a card about Jesus. And I actually handed that out to somebody there. I'm sorry y'all had to hear me sniffling. I just blew my nose. I got to the point where I could and wash my hands. So somebody walking around. The one in Panama is at they also have a website. You just Google Tea and Spice Exchange, I think, and they'll tell you where the stores. They'll ship to you. But the one in Panama is at Pier Park. Can't remember. I can't remember what it's across from. It's near the Crocs store. Like I said, the one in Gatlinburg is in that cove where they got the 13 stores. There's a candy shop at the beginning of that cove. It's in the back. So we're already getting hot. We're going to bring that to a boil, then take it back to a simmer. We're not going to cover. If this was a stew, I would cover it, but a stew is tends to be thicker, and you want to keep your liquids. This one, I don't want to keep my liquids because it's like I said, a very liquidy soup, chili. So what I like to do is what I put my cumin in. What I use, the measuring spoon I use for my cumin. I'll spit it out. Promise. I like to kind of, instead of wasting what spices get stuck to it, kind of wash it off in the pot there. I said 2 bay leaves, but those got one good one and then 2 partials. So we go ahead and put that in. Just fish them out later. And that's the basics of the recipe. Like I said, we're going to bring that to a boil, put our chicken in there, let that go for about an hour, and then Great Northern beans. Now, while I got time, we're at 26 minutes on the videos. We're getting close. I'll go ahead and tell you, if you wanted to do this per the recipe, that's good. You could get this done in probably an hour altogether. You wouldn't have to, like I was cooking the chicken before I ever got on the camera. You just put your chicken broth in there, have your chicken, rotisserie chicken already done, you know. So while your chicken broth is heating up, I guess you would have to saute the onions, but you wouldn't have to do that. You could figure out the ratio of minced onions if you wanted, or use onion powder and garlic powder. But like a weeknight, this is a really quick recipe. But if I wanted to do it quick, I would do it the night before, let it cool down, put it in the fridge, and heat it up the next day, because that's starting to come to a simmer. That's it's always best to let it sit. That's why I'm doing it so early, so I can sit down and watch the Colts game. And also closer to supper time, like I said, Madeline does not like chili at all. Well, I don't know, it's crazy. She's not my taste tester. Kinley's my connoisseur. And if you find, you guys can make it your own, man. This is the way I made it my own, and this is the way we like it. You know what? It's done up about quarter teaspoon or so of celery seeds in there. Why? Because God gave us celery seeds. That's why. Makes it better. But get yourself a bench scraper. If not, you can use like a paper plate or anything. That's already coming to a simmer, so I'm going to go ahead and add this chicken and get done with this video. That's going to simmer for about an hour. Bring it up to a boil, then simmer for an hour. If your chicken, obviously, if it's a little underdone, this one wasn't, so I'll just have to wipe my cutting board off. Obviously, if it was underdone, you should clean your cutting board. Mine were good to go. Been a while since I've done a video. I put one out last week of funnel cakes. COLTS, go Colts. Alright, just been cooking with cornbread. That's going to come to a boil. Let it boil for an hour. Put the Great Northern beans in there for 20 minutes. Let that heat up. You're ready to go, or you can let it rest like I'm going to do. Appreciate you. Yeah. Boop. Can't hit it.